video is designed to raise awareness amongst our Realtor members of the courtesies and professionalisms we should strive to demonstrate daily to the public we serve, the properties we represent, and amongst our valued Realtors.
After hosting the broker outreach meetings the last several years and speaking to many of our fellow Realtors, Dale, as you know, a common thread of concern has really been professionalism. In fact, the National Association of REALTORS has recently redefined professionalism in their Pathways of Professionalism program, and much of that has been used as a basis for this video. And we hope that you take the time to watch this video with your fellow Realtors so that you can gain a deeper meaning and understanding of professionalism in real estate.
Together, Dean, we can create a better image of the role we play in helping consumers to obtain the goal of home ownership.
When a seller puts their home on the market, they're living in a glass house. Strangers are coming in, opening their cabinets, going in their closets. We as Realtors, the best service we can provide to all sellers is to be respectful of their private property rights. We need to conduct our business in a manner that we're showing courteous manners. The frustration and stress that a household goes through when they try to put their best foot forward, we need to be empathetic of that situation. We need to walk in their shoes, and we need to conduct our business in a manner that always remembers the golden rule.
Being a realtor is really about customer service and building relationships with our buyers and sellers and the general public. If we treat them with respect and courtesy when we're dealing with them in our telephone conversations, emails, or in our face-to-face meetings, it reflects on us not only as a realtor, but the real estate industry as a whole. It's very important for us to respond promptly to any inquiries or requests for information that the general public may have. When I'm trying to set my showings up, I let the sellers know at least 24 hours in advance that I want to show their property. It gives them ample time to get ready for that showing. And a lot of the sellers take great pride in making sure that their home looks just right. So if I know that I'm going to be running late, I'll call the listing office or the listing agent, let them know that my schedule has changed, and if I do have the seller's phone number, I'll give them a call also to let them know that there's a time change. Sometimes you'll pull up in front of a home and the buyer, for whatever reason, doesn't want to take a look at that particular house. Be courteous, call the listing agent or the listing office and let them know that the situation has changed. And if you know that there's an occupant there at the house, go up, knock on the door, and let them know that you won't be showing it so that they're not sitting around waiting for you.
It's very important that we stay in contact with people at all times. I know how it is to be sitting and anxiously waiting for a phone call. So for that reason, I try to call people whether or not there's a change in status. Secondly, we need to talk to our clients in a way that they're going to understand what we're saying when we're done with our conversation. We're going to talk to each other differently than we're going to talk to the public.
Sometimes when showing a property, it's very important to know ahead of time if they have any pets. One time I was showing this house and there weren't any pets in the home. There was nobody in the home. The sellers were on vacation. And I scheduled another showing for the next day. And to our surprise, there were two huge German Shepherds barking by the door. So I couldn't go in there at all. So luckily I called the listing agent and they called the neighbor and told them to go and get the dogs. They were very friendly dogs, but you never know what to expect. And as a matter of courtesy, I always leave my business card in every house that I show or preview because they appreciate that. And I advise my clients, my buyers, when we're in the home, if the sellers are there, please don't make any negative comments because it's not, out of respect, it's not a good idea. And when I'm done showing, I always thank the sellers and let them know that we're all done and thank you for letting us show the home. They appreciate that.
When you're showing a home, first ring the doorbell or knock on the door before entering. If the owner is home and your customers need to use the bathroom or make a phone call, always ask their permission before doing that. And while you're walking through the home and you see a closed door, always knock on the door. You want to make sure you're not disturbing anybody. And if the owner happens to ask you a question regarding the marketing of the property or any other property in the area, direct that question to their broker or representative. It's showing common courtesy to your fellow peers.
I think it's important when you're a realtor to dress like a realtor. You're representing not only yourself, but your company, but more importantly, the industry as a whole. If you're dressed for success, you will be successful. What does that mean? Business attire. You're in a line of work where people look up to you as a professional, and you should dress the part. Your vehicle that you drive is really your mobile office, and as such, it should be treated as one. Any garbage, anything in the car should be removed, and of course it should always be showroom clean at all times. Deadlines in our industry are also very important. Not only calling back people promptly, but responding to attorneys, and more importantly, other agents in addition to your own clients. That is important. It's a true mark of a good realtor.
Promises, promises, promises. Sometimes they're easy to make, but sometimes they're not easy to keep. And I always keep my promises. Whether it's your client, whether it's my client, I keep my promises. If I promise your client that I'm going to show their home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm there. If for some reason I cannot make it, I call them immediately because I find that they appreciate that. And I found that kept promises enhance yourself as a professional realtor. And I'm proud to be a realtor. From the day that I received my license and you received yours, we know more about real estate transactions than the average person on the street. And I find that if I can help them get what they want, that is home ownership, they will help me get what I want. That's the reputation of a professional realtor.
There's an old sales training quotation that to sell John Smith what John Smith buys, you have to see John Smith through John Smith's eyes. And I think that our clients' likes and dislikes are largely based on life experiences and cultural backgrounds. And a good realtor is not afraid to ask questions to discover what these differences are, and more important, to communicate them. If you have non-English speaking people, if you have no-show periods due to religious beliefs, or remove your shoes for cultural customs, not just to keep the carpet clean, I think a good agent can communicate that through the up-desk appointments, our remark sections, and the MLS. I think a professional realtor not only practices the golden rule, but respects differences as they come up.
It's very important when dealing with clients or peers that you give them the correct information. It's very important that you know what you're talking about. Not think, but know. When you're giving information to clients or people that are interested in the property, you give them the correct information. If you don't know, there's many places that you can find information. You can get it from your local board, newspapers, internet, but there's ways to get information. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know, but I'll find out, or I'll give you directions on how to find that information.
You need to take control of every showing. You need to make sure that the group stays together, that the children stay with the parents, and that Mr. Buyer doesn't go to the basement and look around while Mrs. Buyer goes up to look at the bedrooms. So make sure you stay together as a cohesive group. The other thing that's very important is make sure that you don't give out the combination lock code or the code to the garage door. You should never allow people to enter a property without you. Remember, you're responsible for every showing.
When we're showing property, you need permission to show the property. You need permission from the other broker. You need permission from the seller. It's a privilege to show someone else's residence, and you need to be aware of that. When you enter the home, as an agent, you have responsibility. You may have some liability, so you need to keep an eye on your customer. Make sure they don't eat, drink, smoke, wander away during the showing. Sometimes they have a frequency to go to a different room. Please try and keep them with you so that you can keep an eye on them. Leave the house as you found it. If there's lights that you need to have turned off when you left, make sure they're off. Make sure the back door is secured. Make sure the front door is secured when you leave it. Always be aware it's someone else's residence.
Always identify yourself as a realtor when contacting other realtors. Show courtesy, trust, and respect to other real estate professionals. As a commercial practitioner, I'm mostly accompanied by other realtors when showing properties, and sometimes misinformation is given, but I will not disrespect them in front of my clients. If it is important, I will mention it in a private conversation. Always keep the agreement with realtors and respect their time. I feel that the key to respect, trust, and building great relationships is to negotiate a win-win situation.
There's a saying, we are what we say, and much more on how we say it. There's no room for denigrating language. Let us respect each other's feelings. Absolutely, do not prospect at your fellow realtors' open house or similar events. There's a big wide world of business opportunities for us. Build your business on optimum ethical practice. In order to be successful in this business, we have to respect each other mutually. Occasionally, we may encounter some inappropriate behavior from our peers, but be steadfast. Stay on your ground. Be the professional. A good deed goes a long way. I know. I enjoy being a realtor for almost 30 years.
Cooperation and courtesy is essential in the real estate business. Whether you're returning phone calls from your clients or customers or from other agents, returning those calls, faxes, emails, or inquiries timely and courteously shows that you are serious about business and that you manage it professionally. This ultimately benefits you, your fellow realtor, as well as your clientele.
Accurate information is very important. Sometimes you'll see inaccuracies in listings. It could be a typo, could be bad handwriting, could be whatever reason why that has happened. And when you see that, call the listing agent. It'll not only create goodwill with that agent, but it will also make you appear to be a better professional. Secondly, share important information. If your seller shares with you that he has a cat or a dog and his name is Houdini, assume that it's an escape artist. And that should be noted on the showing instructions so the selling agent can better enter and exit the property. Lockboxes. Lockboxes are a very important part of our business. And make sure that when you use the lockbox, you take the key and the portion of the lockbox and you have it in your hand throughout the showing so you do not leave it in the house. It's not always possible to have a lockbox on the home, so what you need to do, if you have to schedule an appointment to pick up keys at the listing office, schedule the appointment. Also schedule the time in to return the keys promptly. You will appear to be more professional and caring about your fellow realtor.
The subtitle to Pathways to Professionalism is Common Sense Courtesies. That's what we've been talking about today. It's the little things that make such a big impact on the public and our peers. It's habits. And it's just as easy to form good habits as it is to form bad habits. Everything we do and say is a reflection. We earn our reputation with each contact and each transaction that we work on. Everything we say and do is a reflection on us as an individual, and it affects our business today, tomorrow, and in the future. It's also a reflection on the company that we're a part of. But in the bigger picture, it's a reflection on you and on me, because what one realtor says, it's a representation of the entire industry. As individuals, we need to make a choice, a commitment to the type of standards for these courtesies. Are you committed to following the best of pathways to professionalism?